Hello, everyone, welcome back to the channel, Global Times USA. Please subscribe and like my videos. Today, I bring you a deep dive and review of one of the most critical developments in current geopolitics, today's major event, a new twist in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Global powers express concern as peace efforts hang by a thread. In this video, I'll walk you through all aspects, from the external situation, the exterior, to what's going on behind the scenes, interior, performance of the actors, safety features, i.e., risks and protections, unique selling points, what makes this twist significant, the price, costs, consequences, and a concluding take. Let's get started. In the exterior view, we see a landscape marked by mounting tensions and dramatic diplomatic gestures. Across Europe, capitals are reacting with alarm. Global powers, such as the United States, European Union members, China, Turkey, and others, are issuing statements of concern, warning that the path to peace is narrowing. We're seeing renewed sanctions talk, military aid escalations, arms shipments, diplomatic delegations, and in some cases direct mediation proposals. On the ground in Ukraine and Russia-held regions, increased skirmishes, drone attacks, missile exchanges, and localized offensives create a volatile front line. The media spotlight focuses on contested regions, supply corridors in the Black Sea, the role of external powers providing weapons or intelligence, and the looming threat of escalation into broader conflict. In many ways, what you see from the outside is a mixture of public diplomacy, saber-rattling, alliance posturing, and crisis management. This is the face of the event that watchers and governments observe: declarations of ceasefire attempts, vetoes at the UN, talks of peace zones, threats of escalation, and global reactions. Now let's dig deep into the interior. What's happening behind closed doors, in war rooms, in diplomatic back channels, in intelligence agencies? This part is big, because it's where the real moves are made, where shifts in motive, strategy, and hidden dynamics determine whether this new twist becomes a turning point or a failed gambit. Inside the interior, we begin with Ukraine's strategic recalibration. Ukrainian leadership and military command are assessing new battlefield conditions, altering operational doctrines, and adjusting their supply lines, especially for ammunition, air defense, drones, and counter-battery systems. They are working with Western allies behind the scenes to obtain not just weapons, but intelligence, logistics support, training, and possible forward command integration. Ukraine's internal politics also matter, maintaining morale, ensuring cohesion among different political factions, dealing with information warfare, and handling refugee internally displaced populations. On the Russian side, internal debates among the military elite, intelligence services, and political leadership are intensifying. Some factions may push for greater escalation or broader mobilization, while others might advocate for localized de-escalation to preserve resources or avoid overextension. The role of oligarchs, internal propaganda, and domestic dissent also play into how Russia calibrates its moves. Russia's command structure is also evaluating supply routes, energy dependencies, sanctions impact, and how to maintain internal stability under external pressure. Then there are the international actors working in the shadows. Diplomatic envoys from major powers shuttle between capitals, intelligence sharing and covert operations increase, arms procurement and transfers accelerate behind non-public channels, and sanctions are carefully negotiated to hit certain sectors while avoiding full collapse. Some global powers may attempt to mediate quietly, offering compromise proposals, ceasefire frameworks, or multi-party peace talks behind the public noise. Others may use the opportunity to advance their own geopolitical interests, securing influence in post-conflict reconstruction, energy deals, or security guarantees. Closely tied to this interior domain is cyber warfare, economic leverage, and information operations. In the hidden realm, both sides and their allies may wage hacking campaigns, targeting critical infrastructure, communications, energy networks, or supply chain links. Disinformation, propaganda, and messaging war are conducted behind the scenes to influence public opinion and political elites. Sanctions design is negotiated, loopholes explored, and financial countermeasures prepared. In sum, the interior realm is where strategic depth, risk assessment, alliances, hidden negotiation, and covert pressure converge. To put it succinctly, the interior is the engine room of this new twist. What the public sees is just the tip of the iceberg. The real decisions, risk tolerances, trade, offs and trading happen in corridors, war rooms, elite councils, and classified backchannels. Turning now to performance, how the involved actors are performing in this crisis stage, and how effective their tactics, strategies, and actions are. Ukraine's performance has been notable in resilience, adaptation, and leveraging asymmetric tools like drones, long-range artillery, integrated air defenses, and use of Western intelligence assets. Despite supply constraints and pressures, Ukraine has shown ability to absorb shocks and counterattack in certain sectors. Its messaging to its people and global partners has also been relatively strong, maintaining international sympathy and support. Russia's performance is mixed. While it retains conventional advantages in size, depth, and resources, it has faced operational difficulties, logistics strains, and difficulties suppressing Ukrainian resistance. Russia's choice of tactics, whether to intensify bombardment, storm key cities, or try to force front-line breakthroughs, has been constrained by costs, sanctions, and international pushback. At times, Russian forces may be overstretched or miscoordinated. Diplomatically, Russia sometimes attempts to shift blame or create diversionary narratives, but with varying success. Other global actors' performance also matters. The U.S. and EU have been supplying arms, imposing sanctions, and pushing for diplomatic solutions, but they also face limits in how far they can escalate. Some mediating powers, e.g., Turkey, China, or non-aligned states, may try to broker ceasefires or peace proposals, but their credibility and leverage depend on how balanced and enforceable their proposals are. So overall, performance is a mixed picture. Bold moves and resilience on one side, friction and overreach on another, and cautious management by third parties. Next, safety features. In this context are not about car airbags, but risk mitigation, protective strategies, and safeguards to prevent escalation into catastrophic war. One major safety feature is the presence of diplomatic back channels and negotiation routes, ceasefire talks, third, party mediation, confidence-building measures, observers, buffer zones, or peace proposals that can serve as circuit breakers. Another is arms control mechanisms or deconfliction lines, where direct communication channels exist between military commands to prevent accidental escalation or miscalculation. International norms, treaties, and institutions function as safety nets. The United Nations, the OSCE, international law, pressure from global public opinion, and sanctions mechanisms act as constraints on extreme behavior. Some states may act as guarantors or mediators. Intelligence sharing, transparency measures, satellite monitoring, and open reporting can reduce uncertainty and misjudgment. Financial and economic interdependence also serve as brakes. Major economies are reluctant to plunge into full confrontation due to global fallout. Nuclear deterrence is a grim but real safety constraint. The risk of crossing nuclear thresholds restrains parties from certain escalatory moves. In total, these safety features are mechanisms intended to limit miscalculations, slow escalation, preserve negotiation windows, and maintain some minimal thresholds of restraint. Now for unique selling points. In this case, what makes this particular twist in the Ukraine-Russia conflict uniquely significant, newsworthy, or distinct? First, the timing may correspond to new shifts, new battlefield breakthroughs, surprise offensives, or the introduction of new weapon systems, e.g., hypersonics, drones, loitering munitions. Second, it may involve a dramatic diplomatic intervention, perhaps a powerful new peace initiative or a surprising alignment of third-party nations. Third, the twist may reveal vulnerabilities previously unseen, e.g., cracks in alliances, internal dissent in Russia, debates in NATO. Fourth, the twist might be that this conflict is now approaching a turning point, either toward de-escalation or toward a new, broader war front. Fifth, there may be game-changing deals or proposals, e.g., peace zones, demilitarized buffer regions, security assurances that weren't plausible before. And sixth, the global reaction itself may mark a turning moment. Strong unified statements by previously passive parties, economic interventions, or shifting public opinion in key states. In short, the unique selling points are that this twist might be the inflection moment, the point at which the conflict trajectory might bend toward peace, collapse, or escalation, and that the hidden dynamics, strategic gamble, and third-party influence converge more sharply than before. Next comes price, the costs, consequences, and stakes inherent in this twist. On the military side, the price is measured in human lives, destruction of infrastructure, displacement of civilians, and escalation risk. Each renewed offensive or counteroffensive carries substantial casualties and material loss. On the economic side, sanctions intensify, energy markets destabilize, supply chains fracture, global inflation rises, and nations feel pressure in trade, commodities, and financial markets. On the political side, governments risk domestic backlash, opposition criticism, and alliance strains. Internationally, this twist might provoke overt proxy escalation, deepen polarization, or precipitate further conflict beyond Ukraine's borders. There's also the price of credibility. If peace initiatives fail, actors lose standing. If a mediator is seen as biased or powerless, trust erodes. If one side breaks promises, the cost is reputation loss. The price of miscalculation is huge. A misidentified move could escalate toward unintended all-out war. In essence, the price is enormous in every dimension: human, strategic, economic, political, and reputational. Now, to wrap it all together, my conclusion and verdict: this new twist in the Ukraine-Russia conflict is not just another headline, it might be a pivot point. The exterior shows rising tensions and global alarm. The interior reveals the deep chess game behind the scenes, hidden diplomacy, strategy shifts, and alliances in flux. Performance across the actors shows both strengths and vulnerabilities. Safety features, while imperfect, offer partial brakes on runaway escalation. The unique selling points suggest this could be the moment when momentum shifts, and the price is one no one can ignore. My assessment is that whether this event leads to a breakthrough toward peace or slides further into confrontation will depend critically on the willingness of major powers to commit credibly to restraint and mediation, and on the capacity of Ukraine and Russia to accept compromises under pressure. If third-party powers with leverage push earnestly for enforceable peace frameworks, we may yet see a narrowing of the conflict. But if those powers only posture or delay, the risk is that new offensives, brinkmanship, or breakdowns will drive the region, and perhaps the world, into a deeper spiral.